I'm not faulting him. That may be true for his generation. And I can't fault him because he was a student leader during the 60s, the 70s, during the Baling famine, during 1969. He saw all of that, but none of us do. And we don't have this historical baggage. The Malays in our generation, we don't have this siege mentality. And by siege mentality, I mean, always talking about kita perlu mempertahankan itu, ini. Well, I mean, I'm a Malay, I'm a Bumiputra. To quote, I know it's Dr. Ibrahim Ali's enemy. To quote Ibrahim's book, saya juga Melayu. I'm also Melayu. But what makes Malays special is not the constitutional provision in the constitution of our special position. That does not make us special. What makes a Malay special is that he can compete. What makes a Malay special is that he can achieve excellence in education, in business, without crutches on his own. That's what makes the Bumiputra community special. Not the special privileges and position. Because to me, ultimately, although it is enshrined in the constitution, although it is part of our social contract, but ultimately, it's an insult to me if you tell me 65% of students in local universities, Bumiputra, are there because of the quota. I want them to be there not because of the quota, but because they're there on their own merit. And then we will emerge from this siege mentality. Similarly, non-Malays, and I'm going to wrap up right now, non-Malays must empathize as well. At the end of the day, it's about the politics of empathy. If you don't empathize, if the Malays don't empathize with the non-Malays saying that this non-Malay bukan lagi pendatang, we cannot use this word pendatang anymore. Their parents were born here, their grandparents were born here, their third, fourth, fifth, sixth, if Baba dan Doya, maybe even more, generation Malaysians. So we cannot absolutely use these terms anymore. And similarly for the non-Malays, empathize with the Malays, the position that they're in. If you look at the mean income of the Malay household, it's 35% lower than the Chinese household. It's 15% lower than the Indian household. Many, many economic imbalances that have to be redressed. But all I'm saying is that empathize. Empathize meaning put yourselves in the other person's shoe. It's easy to back from our corner, whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal. But when you put yourself in the other person's shoe, you'll understand that things are not that easy. I'm going to end by saying one thing, is that contrary to what Yang Muhammad Khalid Samad said, which is at the end is a hopeless basket case, we're not. Well, lebih kurang, that's pretty much the message.
You read my mind.
Yeah. I think we got the message. March 2008 was a huge wake-up call. And some people say, look, Vienna's not going to change, UMNO's not going to change until it loses power. Well, losing in 5 states and losing 2/3 majority in parliament, something that's never happened to us before, is as good as losing power.
Not enough.
And I think not enough is They're clearly very sympathetic to you, but I would say that it's enough. For me, it's enough. For me, it's enough. Because it's a very real possibility in the next elections that we will lose. We will lose if we don't change our ways. I think the Prime Minister's come in, he's introduced One Malaysia, he's introduced a new economic model. He said to us in UMNO, which is why I've put my political life on the line, by being more inclusive. If you look at previous UMNO youth leaders, none would ever come up and say that the politics of ideology should trump the politics of race, or we should get rid of the siege mentality. But we're doing this because we're trying to tell you that we're trying to change. And even if this is too slow for you, even if you're more attracted by the opposition's ABU philosophy, anything but UMNO, I urge you to at least have an open mind. Because I can tell you for real that we have nothing to do with Pekasa, one. And secondly, even if you question the very sincerity of the reforms and the changes that we are proposing in Barisan Nasional, I can tell you one thing. Even if you do question our sincerity, it's our very political survival that's at stake. And if we don't change, whether out of sincerity or otherwise, I'm telling you it's sincere, we're going to be out of business. So ladies and gentlemen, have an open mind. Let's have a discussion. Thank you very much.